Good evening, good evening, good evening, or good morning, in the fair chance that you watch this tomorrow. I am back to step into day 3 of the live streaming challenge. If this is your first night joining me, then let me give you a little backstory. So over the weekend, someone challenged me to go live every day for the month of December. But because I am overly ambitious, I decided to start early. So I started on Monday. If you're not connected to me, if by chance you came across this page because someone shared it, then let me introduce myself. My name is Lanisha Lamb. Name's up there or down there somewhere. My name is Lanisha Lamb. I'm an author and writing mentor and founder of the Pretty Geeky Kids Club, which is an education website. This week we are focusing on the 5 W's and the 1 H, which are the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how. So on Monday we talked about who we are. On Tuesday we talked about what we do, and tonight we're talking about why we do it, right? So the Pretty Geeky Kids Club is here because we recognize that there is a need. Children are underperforming. Performance gaps in a lot of cases are growing. Teachers can't do it all, and neither can the parents. There are tons of online resources out there for your children, but how many of them focus solely on you and your child's needs? In the comfort of your own home. I'll wait, because I don't think there are many at all, if there's one. People will call us crazy. They may even say that we're overly ambitious. They may even say that this will never work, right? And guess what? That's okay. That's perfectly fine. None of that will change who we are. Pretty Geeky Kids Club is a holistic approach to fundamental learning, and we provide solutions that yield results. What we do, we educate and we empower. And why we do it? Because of your family. BeginToRead.com reported that 2/3 of students who cannot read proficiently by the end of the 4th grade will end up in jail or on welfare. They go on to say that 4th grade is the watershed year. They predicted that if they aren't reading proficiently in the 4th grade, your child has approximately a 78% chance of never catching up. And I posted a link to this article in the show's notes because I want you guys to go check it out. There's a lot of other statistics up there that I really didn't want to bring up because they rough. They're real rough. It's kind of depressing, to be honest with you, but that's why we're here, because we want to make sure that that's not the case for you or any of your children, right? So again, that link is up in the show notes if you want to take a look at it and read it for yourself. It's a tough thing for me to say, and I know it's going to be a tough thing for you if you decide to go read it. It definitely was for me, especially because I'm pretty sure if you're like me, you know at least one child who is not reading or comprehending on grade level, right? Because the reality is reading, calling words on the page, and comprehension are 2 totally different things. And if you've had a chance to pick up Barrington Learns to Read, we talk about that in the book. We talk about the difference in, calling those words on the page and being able to read above grade level awesomely, but not really being able to understand or process the information that you're seeing on the page, the text on the page, right? So we talk about that in the book. If you haven't grabbed the book, grab it. If you have, I can't wait to hear your feedback on it. We give a little creative take on how to process information in a way that, that's easy for kids, basically. Illiteracy is generally passed down from the parents or guardian. That's illiteracy. But literacy can be learned. Your child can learn to read, they can learn to process information, and they can learn to problem solve. How does that begin, though? It starts by building them up. We have to pour into them. We have to build that confidence. We have to make them aware that they are powerful, that they are capable, that they are able to solve these problems. They're able to read and understand the words on the books. We really have to pour into them and make them feel good about education. It shouldn't be something that they are punished for. Like, for example, if your child isn't doing something they're supposed to do, reading should never be a punishment. Anything that is relating to their education should never be a form of punishment or correcting behavior, right? Because we want to make sure that they understand that that's a good thing. Like when you're learning, like that's good. That's preparing yourself for some later point in your life, right? So the number 2 thing is we have to meet them where they are. We can't meet them where we were when we were kids. We can't meet them where little Timmy is. who might be their brother. We can't meet them where Bob is, who's in their class. We have to meet them where they are on their level with what they need. That's really, really important. Number 3 is we have to facilitate the material in an engaging manner. If you think about all the stuff that your kids have access to today in comparison to what we had whenever I was a kid, and I'm 33, we didn't have iPads and iPhones and Wii U and X. We didn't have all that. We had like Nintendo and the little game thing or whatever, the little gun where you shooting the ducks. We didn't have as much of this technology as they have today. So their minds are constantly processing these animations on the screen, and they're going at really fast rates. I remember having a conversation with a counselor in Raleigh who said that sometimes looking at these games and these iPads and these iPhones can cause attention deficit disorder because the information, the images are popping up so quickly, right? That whenever they go into a classroom where it's a lot less fast paced, sometimes it's harder for them to pay attention. So if you put that in perspective, whenever we're talking to them about math or we're talking to them about reading, we're going to have to turn it up a little bit. We can't just be laid back and, be cool, calm, and collected. We're going to have to get excited. We're going to have to give them high fives when they're doing things when they're doing things really well. Whenever they are exceeding our expectations, we have to let them know, right? So they feel good about learning, and they feel that, again, goes back to that confidence, really, really pouring into them and making them feel good. We have to make sure that we're doing that so that they understand that in that environment of learning, that's a good place to be, right? And it's not going to be something that's boring. It's not going to be something that I'm going to want to fall asleep. I don't want to do this anymore, right? So the number 4 thing is we have to give them the attention they need. I battle with this a lot because I think in an earlier part of Corbin's schooling, I was probably on him a little too much, and I was kind of beating myself up, like maybe I was coddling him as he was doing his homework, right? And so then I kind of backed off and was allowing him to do his homework more by himself. And then something dawned on me that it's okay to, whenever we are going over new concepts, it's okay for me to help him out. It's okay for me to guide him. It's okay for me to give him the answers and let him know how I reach those answers. Because otherwise, if I don't model it out for him, how is he going to know how to do it himself? I can't expect for me to give him a worksheet of skip counting if we've never discussed it before and just expect for him to just get it because they went over it once in class. So I have to give myself, I have to feel okay with giving him that extra attention that he needs on these concepts that he isn't that comfortable with yet. It's perfectly okay. It's fine, right? So those are the 4 things that we have to do to make sure that we are empowering our children, that we are creating an environment that is, I guess you say, beneficial to them learning how to read or learning how to process this information. Is building that confidence up, meeting them where they are, facilitating the material in an engaging manner, and then giving them that attention that they need, right? Because the reality is reading affects everything. From college, jobs, scholarship applications, to contracts and legal agreements. If you lack the ability to process and understand words, then you're left relying on somebody else to tell you how to do it. And who wants to, if you're like me, hey, Antonia, I'm a little controlling to a certain degree. So I can't really rely on anybody to really do anything for me. I want to be hands-on. Just like whenever I started, designing websites, when I first had my business back in 2014, I didn't know nothing about websites. My websites was rinky-dinky. But, I took the time and I kind of had to Google. I kind of had to network with people. I had to see what people were doing because I did not want to have to necessarily rely on somebody else to kind of teach me or show me or do it for me. I wanted to also learn. So in the event that I hired somebody out, whatever they did for me, I understood it, and I wasn't going to be hoodwinked. I wasn't going to be bamboozled. I was going to understand it enough that I knew what I was getting and I was going to get something quality, right? So we have to understand that reading and comprehension literally affects every area of our life. Reading comprehension is important, not just for the test, but like I said, it's important for life. Now, if we give reading a break for a minute and we talk about numbers. Blacks, Hispanics, and American Indians are underrepresented in the STEM workforce. That's just That's facts. And I posted another link above so that you guys can read about the huge disparity between the black and browns in comparison to the white males and the Asian males in that STEM workforce population, right? And even though the numbers have increased over the years, there's still a huge disparity. There's still a huge variance there. I read in a 2015 article, that's the link above, U.S. News, the headlines read, "The STEM workforce is no more diverse than 14 years ago." 14 years, they're saying nothing really has changed, right? So the article attributed that a lot of this was lack of access. You know, people can't get to it, or maybe they don't have programs available in their area, or maybe their school doesn't have advanced mathematics being taught there. They attributed the rest of it to maybe just not having information about those degree fields, maybe just not being privy to, you know, what is a job in STEM like? What is it like for me to major in science, technology, or engineering? What is that like for me to major in mathematics? And if you don't have anybody to ask, or if you don't have anybody that's in your network that can kind of shed light for you, it's kind of hard for that to even be on your radar when you're thinking about your future, right? So if you've been paying attention, I have been asking people to record videos for me because I want to share with my students. I want them to be able to see real life people, not actors on TV or anything else. Real life people that I have either gone to school with, who might be in my family, who might be an associate of mine via Facebook or whatever. Just real life people who have gone to school, who have their own businesses, who are successful, who have set a goal for themselves and have really worked hard to get to that point, because kids need to see that. They need to see it in STEM. They need to see it in entrepreneurship and small business. They need to see it in management. They need to see it in teachers in the classroom. They just need to see more representation, more people like themselves who have gone off and set a goal and really worked hard to accomplish it, right? So how many of you have heard somebody say, "I hate math"? And then how many of you have actually been the person to say that you hated math? And even if that's how you feel, that's okay, but just be sure not to teach that hate to your son or daughter, right? You want to allow them to kind of create their own or have their own feelings about the subject. If math isn't your strong subject, that's even more of a reason for you to create a network around you of people who are able to be strong where you are weak, right? So the more solid your son or daughter's foundation is, the more opportunities that will be available to them. Simple as that. And we've been talking about that a few nights this week, about that network and how important it is to have those people around you who are smarter than you. And I cannot express the importance of that enough. PGKC, Pretty Geeky Kids Club, was founded because we wanted to educate and we wanted to empower you, right? And aside from that, we really want to support you and your children on your road to success. I'm excited that you guys are continuing to join me night after night. This is going to continue throughout the remainder of the year. So if you get tired of it, you're going to have to put me on mute because I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here. And I really want to hear what your thoughts are about the topics that I'm discussing. Even if you watch it after the fact, still share your thoughts. I've also included the link in the description to subscribe. Remember, each night this week, I'm sending out the English language art worksheets and the mathematics worksheets for you to go over and practice, because practice builds performance, with your son or daughter at home. If you are just now joining my mailing list, I will catch you up and I will send you the worksheets that you have missed out on. I want everybody to have access to this information. Also, I am going to be giving away 3 of the Barrington Learns to Read books. The only thing you have to do to enter to win is just comment on the live video. That's it. Just as simple as that. I just want to know that you're here. I just want to know that you're with me. I would love to have your feedback. So I'm loving that you're joining. I'm loving that you're liking. I'm loving that you're sharing. But I really want us to interact with one another as we're talking about these things that impact our communities and our children who will one day be leaders of our world, right? So we're talking about future presidents here. So I really want to hear what your thoughts are. As of now, though, that is a wrap for tonight. Just to reiterate some of my points from tonight, we are here because of your family. As simple as that. We were founded because we recognize a need, and we are here to support you in that need. Pretty Geeky Kids Club is a holistic approach to fundamental learning, and we provide solutions that yield results. We're going to be, although we are live now, although all of our subscriptions and our services are live on the website, we're not going to start really until January. I want to give you guys a chance to hear everything that I have to say. I want you to hear the whole spiel on the organization, on the club. I want you to ask whatever questions you have. I want you to get access to some of the freebies and try out our resources so that you know just how hard we're working on your behalf. I'm going to make myself available to you. So if you have questions, if you don't feel comfortable asking them on the live video, feel free to message me. I'm on Facebook all the time just because this is where I transact business most of the time. So just feel free to message me and ask me whatever questions you have as it relates to Pretty Geeky Kids Club. And yeah, that's it. Short and sweet and to the point, right? So thank you guys for joining. Comment, let me know your feedback. Obviously share, and then subscribe. Have a good night.